Hi everyone, and welcome to a video on the Casio CT-X3000, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of editing of a preset tone on here. I've got a synth brass tone, number 273, and I'm going to use a virtual synth as a bit of inspiration and see if we can change and tweak the built-in preset to match in some way. So running alongside the CTX, I've got a virtual synth here, a Casio CZ synth from the 1980s, but in virtual form rather than the actual hardware. And on the CTX, as I said, I've got this synth brass tone, which sounds like this. And I've got a preset tone on the CZ, which sounds like this. And we're going to try and match up the two synths, but the editing is going to take place on the CTX rather than on the CZ. Obviously the CZ is a full-blown synth, albeit in software form, so you've got much more ability to control and shape the sound, but we have got some sound shaping capability within the CTX. So that's what we're going to try and do, is match the CTX to the CZ sound. So the first thing you notice when I play the CZ is how the sound gradually appears. It's not got the attack that we've got on this tone on the CTX. So let's change a little bit of that sound. Hold down the edit button and we get attack time. And if we increase this value, we'll lose some of that attack that's present in the original preset. It also seems to affect the tone as well, but we'll just keep going. We can make other adjustments along the way. So somewhere round about there, 100 or slightly below or slightly above. Kind of matches the CZ preset. There's also a little bit of release time. When I release the keys from the CZ, the sound carries on a little bit longer, so let's increase this value. Probably somewhere around about there. Let's try and get rid of some of that brightness by changing the cutoff frequency as well. And maybe just bring up the resonance as well. So it just highlights the frequency. We won't get that nice resonant sweep that comes on the CZ out of the CTX, but that's working okay. And then let's add a little bit of pitch shifting by using one of the DSP effects, and we need to turn that on. And then if we scroll until we get to the pitch shifter, which is around about here somewhere, 21 I think. There we are. and press enter. And you've got several parameters for the pitch shifter. The first one, pitch, will change the amount of pitch in quarter tones. So that's too much. I just want a little bit of fine pitch shifting just to thicken up the sound. I'm going to leave some of these other values here. You can always make other adjustments, but maybe if I just take the fine way back to 0, you can hear the gradual changes as I apply the values. So this is the CZ. This is the CT-X. So that's coming on a little bit more. You can obviously take a lot more time and just tweak it even further. And now what we want to do is to save it. So let's just exit. And it will say, do you want to exit? You say yes, and you say right. You say yes to that. And now to name it, you hold down the record stop button with a long press. It says tone name, so you press enter. And now you can change the letters using the wheel and then the arrows to move along the line. So let's see if we can name this CZ brass. Change this one to an R. And if you want to add another character in, then you, oops, this wants to be an S. Then you use the arrow to move along the line, press insert, and now you can insert a new character. There we go. And then we can press enter. Are you sure? Say yes. And let's come back to the tones, and now that's been named. There's a little bit of chorusing as well, and some delay, which I've left on the master effects here. We can just tweak those a bit further if you want to get it a bit closer. Let's have a look. The delay, set to a short delay at the moment. That's probably too much, a long. And then the chorus. Sounds about there. And then you can store that into a registration so that you've got those values for when you come back to play the sound again. Let's store that into number 8. And for further development of a tone as you're editing it, you can always layer another tone with it to adjust the sound in real time if you've got an expression pedal. So let's bring in another tone, and let's bring in, well, first of all, I'll just bring in some strings like this. So I've got the CZ brass tone that we just created, layered with some strings. I can use my expression pedal just to bring them in, take them away. So this is just the brass with the pedal all the way up, and now with the pedal all the way down, It's with strings and varying amounts in between. Sounds like this. And you can obviously change the combinations. You've got two layers, and one layer was one I made earlier with a tone called Singer. If I combine that with the CZ brass, if you do a long press on the tone, it will change. The cursor will move up or down. So we've got CZ brass on upper layer 1, and I've got this Singer tone that I made on upper layer 2. And that's got a bit of vibrato built into it, like a singer would apply vibrato after a delay. Which adds quite a nice brassy kind of tone at the bottom. So I hope that was useful and that you have some fun experimenting with editing the tones on the CT-X and using, maybe if you've got a virtual synth in a DAW, using that as the inspiration to see if you can get a similar sound from the CT-X. So thanks for watching.